so now we're going into the Forest Haven, which has a lot of choo-choos in it. And the green choo-choos are really annoying because they love to be like that, unattackable. And it's much better to deal with when you get the item of this dungeon. But for now, the only way you can make them vulnerable right away is to grappling hook them. Like, they give you green choo-choo jelly, but like, why would you bother with the green potion? Like, all it does is restore magic and that's it. You want to be able to restore both health and magic. Otherwise, you're just wasting a bottle with the green potion. The dungeon introduces this concept, where you carry a slowly cracking and destroying itself chestnut over to a blue flower on a door, and you throw it. So it's kind of a timing minigame, and test your ability to, like, navigate around the dungeon quickly and easily. So I kind of like it. As for the dungeon music, there's really nothing to say. Like, just like the previous dungeon music, it just tries to go for ambience, which is boring as hell. Like, I don't know why 3D Zelda games love to make the most boring dungeon music imaginable. Like, compare this to Link Between Worlds, where I loved every dungeon theme in that game. Even though, and I didn't even realize this until I was told about it after I beat the game, every dungeon theme in that game is just a remix of the same theme. But even it had better dungeon music than the 3D Zeldas. You also have the purple plants returning. And for, like, with the Dooku Leaf, they're a lot easier to deal with, because you can just correct your mistake. You don't have to be super precise. You can also destroy the blue flowers with the bombs. So, and the bombs can stun the choo-choos and make them vulnerable. So that's good. I like the idea of the bomb plants. Like, I like the bomb plants, because that means that you don't have to get bombs as an inventory item to have them usable in dungeons. So they spice up, like they give you more stuff to do in the dungeons without giving you the bombs right away. Oh, I'd rather just have them, to be honest. There's also this puzzle where you have to constantly spam the Dooku Leaf while standing in the right way. You just use a Dooku Leaf when you're facing backwards, and that sends you forwards. And you can send these guys to the ground and vulnerable with the Dooku Leaf, but you can't get golden feathers from them unless they're flying. Cause I guess their golden feathers spontaneously cease to exist when you send them to the ground. So that's kind of lame. Cause you're pretty vulnerable when you're trying to steal from these guys. They don't get stunned when you steal from them. Even enemies generally get stunned for a very short amount of time when you steal from them. I do really like the stealing from enemies concept, though. I wish they brought it back in later games, because it's like, it lets me pretend that Link is like a thief of the sea or something. The audio used for the choo-choos is actually an argument between two Japanese men sped up and played in reverse. The man at the start says, "At least I'm not balding," and the man near the end says, "And looking like you are, people will think you're a monster." So that's pretty amusing. I always like the sound effect that the choo-choos make. Like, it's creepy, but in a good way. Like, it's not, like, it matches the tone of the game. Also, some of the game's music tracks are either remixes or of small renditions of music from older Zelda games. Windfall Island's theme is a remix of Kakaroo Village from Link to the Past, and I guess I will continue to call it that. But I was surprised to learn that, because I guess it's so heavily remixed that I never actually saw it as the Kakariko Village theme. The theme of the dungeon that you first go into is based on the music of Dodongo's Cavern from Ocarina of Time. Its ambience makes it pretty dull and forgettable. And of course, the Great Sea theme is a remix of the Overworld theme from every Zelda game ever. So there's that. You also have these puzzles. And they're also a pretty easy timing minigame. You just wait around on them, but not for so long that it gets boring. I already have a full wallet, so it's not very satisfying just walking into the blue rupees that are just sitting there. Like, it's like the people who made this game didn't at all account for the fact that you have a really tiny wallet size. I hate these things. I forget what they're called. It starts with an M. Magma, I guess? They're really annoying. They cling to you and slow you down, and then you have to spin attack. See? I got a yellow rupee. Like, did they not realize that you would be guaranteed to have a full wallet by this point? Like, do they really expect you to spend all your money on bait and then use up all of your bait that you got by the time you come here so that you'll be able to... Like, really? I mean, there's only... It's not like you can explore the entirety of the Great Sea at this point in the game because the boat will stop you and railroad you for some reason. Like, this is why I like the Triforce quest, because in the Triforce quest, you can go to any island at any time you want. I mean, technically you can do that by the time you get to the Earth and Wind Temple portion of the game. But there's a few islands that you can't get to unless you have the item from the Wind Temple. So you might as well start searching the entire Great Sea by that point. That compass and the chest I'm going to get later is not worth the tediousness that is this part of the game. Like, really? It's so cheap just having them suddenly sprout out really quickly. And, like, there's no visual indicator of where they're going to show up. Why can't they just always... This is so cheap. You're always going to walk right into them. And what is the point of having a red flash of light that happens when you attack them when you can't actually attack and destroy them? This is just tedious. And of course they have to show up. Can't end it early, oh no. And I remember being stumped by having to throw a bomb over here when I was a kid. Like, I guess it just didn't occur to me that I could do it. Maybe I thought there'd be an invisible wall there or something, I don't know. What is the point of... Well, I guess they are there to make it easier to get to the door. But it's not like you're going up to another treasure chest with them. And it's just me, or does cutting grass in this game not usually reward you with hearts or rupees? Yeah. They suddenly spawn in green choo-choos after you... Like, it's weird. Most rooms don't suddenly introduce new enemies after you do something in a room that's not even the same one. So basically I cut, and then, oh, suddenly it showed me something new, so I have to start recording again. I don't really get what this liquid is supposed to be. Like, is it pollution? Because if so, why aren't you being damaged when you go into it? And I was really lucky I was able to climb up there, because it looked like Link was clipping through the wood. Not complaining. The walking speed in this game. It's definitely pretty fast compared to Twilight Princess, but there's a reason that I'm constantly rolling when I'm playing the game. I feel like he's a little too slow, but not nearly as slow as Link in Twilight Princess, like, 'cause that was just ridiculous. Skyward Sword would introduce a dash mechanic, and then proceed to immediately butcher that by forcing some stupid unnecessary stamina meter on you. And you can get potions to give you an infinite stamina meter temporarily, and even upgrade those potions to make better ones, which is cool and all, but it would have been better if they just didn't have a stamina meter in the first place. Like, it just feels like it stems from an attempt to shove realism into a game about an elf attacking a demon king in a green tunic. Like, really? Like, this is a trend that I really don't appreciate with Zelda games. Like, why make it realistic and then not make it as fun? Fuck realism if it gets in the way of fun. Like, this is a video game. Like, I appreciate realism when it makes the characters act more logical and the situations be more logical. because then it makes it more believable. But realism should not get in the way of fun gameplay. Like Breath of the Wild forces the stamina meter down your throat too. This is a pretty easy mini-boss, because you can use the Dooku Leaf to make it go down, so that you can attack it, and then you can just spam the spin attack to easily defeat it. So if you're skilled enough, it's really not a problem. Like, even though they send these guys at you, it's really not that big of a deal, because you can just jump attack, and even with these things weighing you down, you'll still be able to go far enough to attack the mini-boss. I really appreciate the concept of having to fight mini-bosses to get the dungeon items. It's a lot less underwhelming than in the 2D games where you just get a big key and then you unlock the item chest. So this is the boomerang. The boomerang is definitely... I like the way it handles, aside from the fact that you move way too fast, and the controls are so inverted when, like, up is down and down is up. But what's more important is that you move so quickly when you're targeting, so you can constantly go past stuff that you're trying to target and have to try again. Like, I think the targeting reticule, it has overly sensitive controls. Twilight Princess did not have that problem. Did these really need to be here? I feel like it just pads out the game. Like, it doesn't really... I mean, I guess it is satisfying to cut down all these ropes. These vines, I mean. What is it with me mixing up ropes and vines? I mean, they serve the same function in a video game. So what's this brown chest contain? Oh, a joy pendant. Wonderful. And you know, I was excited because usually keys are put in the brown chest, which is weird because the brown chest signifies that it's the chest with the least amount of value, and yet the dungeon keys that are in them are mandatory to beat the dungeon. So why the hell are the dungeon keys put in the least valuable chest? That just guarantees that the joy pendants will just become trolls. Cause like, oh, I got a key. Oh, it's just a joy pendant. I like this puzzle, although it was really annoying getting the flower to fall. Like, it's just so annoying getting the flowers to fall in general. Cause like, it could have sworn that you targeted everything, but then it doesn't actually hit everything. Like, the boomerang acts pretty realistically. It gets stopped by walls, and it gets stopped by like the sides of the enemies. And you're going to really feel the pain of that in the boss of this dungeon. And of course, you have all of these annoying enemies on the platforms, so you have to waste a whole bunch of time destroying them. Seriously, what is this water? Like, why is it this color? You can't progress to the left there because there's a wall that's too high up for you to get up to it. I hate these magic draining things. They constantly respawn. So attacking them is pointless. You're better off just running past them. They attach to you and they gradually suck up your magic. And so you've got to... Like, if you run out of magic, you inexplicably can't use the Dooku Leaf anymore. So you got to get more. I accidentally cut out the recording too early. But seeing how I don't have a key at this point, and because of the music that played, it was probably just a yellow rupee. And I could have sworn I was standing in the exact center of the flower, but my spin attack didn't cut all of its ropes. So that was annoying. And after you get the flower down, you got to use the Dooku Leaf to progress through the water with it, and then deal with some squid octoroks. Like, this is kind of a slow part of the dungeon. I like how you can quickly kill these guys with a boomerang, though. Like, the boomerang is not usually known for killing enemies. Usually it just stuns enemies. This game ramps up the amount of enemies that can be killed with the boomerang. Like the flying pea hats, you can kill those. And like those things, the Boko Babas, you can one-shot them. I love that. Well, I'm usually stopping to get the Boko Baba seeds for them anyways. So yeah, the walking speed is kind of slow, but that's nothing compared to the sidling speed. Like I mentioned in my Unleashed commentary that I like how the werehog doesn't sidle at the speed of molasses. With this game, you sidle across the wall so slowly. It's painful. Like it's to the point where I'm really glad I have the Dooku Leaf because it means I can do more to skip that. At least, well, there's only one part of the game where I can imagine being able to skip with the Dooku Leaf anyways. Also, I never really knew how to pronounce sidle when I was a kid. So it's another word that I'm pretty surprised is actually in a game that's marketed towards kids. Because I've been playing this game since I was 4 years old, and I never really knew how to pronounce that. Like, I always pronounce it like Siddle or something like that. It was a weird word. God. I guess these eyes or something are sentient, so they know to close their eyes when you're near them. They're probably deaf though, so they can't hear this thing going straight above them and the bomb, so they don't know to close. And this was a pretty nice puzzle as well, but unfortunately I got a treasure chart from it. And this game throws so much money at you that the treasure charts are kind of worthless, to be honest.